Alright guys, real quick, we're pulling out the good old 650 for bike night, and I haven't been on a ride since well, last Sunday when I broke my hand. So we'll see how this goes, we'll see how I feel. If it feels too bad, I'll come back home, but for now I feel like I'm okay. Yeah. Anyways, so let's get straight into it. This is the, before we start, this is the Ninja 650. This is the parallel twin. Nice and slow bike here. We got the Two Brothers full exhaust. We got a Power Commander in there. We got the Yoshimura fender eliminator kit. We got Shogun frame sliders. We got spoles in the front and back. Anyways, that's about the gist of what I got. Let's go ahead and hear it real quick. Haven't been on in a while, so got this deal. And it's time for another video. Well, today we're going over to the towers. We were gonna go to bike night, didn't work out, but here we are. So this is the first day I'm driving with a broken hand. Well, slowly healing anyways. So the bone I broke, I think they call it a hamate. It's a really small bone. It's like right under your pinky. Kind of has like a horn in it. And apparently I just grinded that into dust from hitting the ground so hard. But that's okay. I think this is, so from the 11th to the 22nd, so 11 days. And I'm able to actually like twist the throttle a little bit. Now I can't slam it all the way and pin it. My wrist doesn't have full motion yet, but it's getting there. This was mainly just a test, just to see how I would do on a bike. And see how my wrist would do, really. And my hand wasn't hurting too bad. There's only like one bump that kind of like messed me up a little bit. But everything else was fine. Anyways, so this morning, I decided to go ahead and sign the bike over to insurance. That's just one of the steps in the claim. It is considered totaled, and they are dealing with my bank now to pay the loan off. And it looks like the bike I'm gonna end up getting is probably the 2019 Honda CBR 1000 Double R SP edition, or SP1, depending on how you want to look at it. The SP2 is more a racing oriented one. It's 4 tracks only, and I think only racers can get access to it. So it's not like a street legal bike. But anyways, so, I'm not really sure what Honda considers it, but like in Europe, this exact model I'm getting is Fireblade. But, here, the Fireblade is like that 2021. Yeah, I think it's 2021. The one with the new winglets and everything that's everybody's going crazy about. They're going crazy because it's like a $30,000 bike with, what was it, 215 horsepower to the rear wheel, which is kind of insane. I don't know, it has so many goodies on it. I mean, the one I'm looking at has like a titanium full exhaust, titanium gas tank. I mean, there's just weight reduction everywhere. It's actually a $20,000 bike, and the place I found it at had it for sale like at 15, so I'm getting like a somewhere between $3,000 to $5,000 in equity, like immediately when I buy it. So, and it may be even more than that because I'm probably gonna put a down payment, especially if my bank wants one. I'm going to. Usually they say like 10%, so it'd be like $1,500 maybe. That's quite a bit. But you gotta think, like the first thing I do when I get any bike, change the exhaust out. probably go with the slip-on since the front headers are all titanium anyways. There's kind of like no point in replacing them unless there's like a cat in there or something funky like that. But I guess we'll see. Now supposedly they were saying it's like 189 horsepower, but like realistically to the rear wheel it's probably like 152, you know, before you go ahead and get it tuned. And once it's tuned it'll be like 175 at the rear wheel. But the thing that kind of got me interested like in Honda is all about like weight reduction and like usability. Like that's what they care about more than anything else. Like yes, they can tune an engine to be like the fastest engine ever, but they want you to be like comfortable while you're riding, and they give you a lot of extra features to help you with that. Now the SP model, the one I'm looking at, and the one that I'm probably going to get, it has full electronic suspension. Now that's front and back, and it has gyro assisted ABS, which means no more locking the wheel up, or very, I guess, just lightly instead of, you know, it locking and just tossing you. Unfortunately, you know, where I was at, I didn't have a choice but to use the front brake, and that's what caused my bike to be totaled, like even on the most minor thing. So, you know, I was stuck between the CBR 1000RR SP or the RSV4 from Aprilia. And I think the problem with Aprilia, and I don't know if it's like this now, but it used to be like they would break down for anything, and then the problem is like all your parts are in Italy. Now for me, I'm in the States, so you're talking about a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks to repair anything. That's just not really realistic here. Like I want to ride like pretty much every day, and the last thing I want to have to deal with is waiting like, you know, half a month to get my bike back out. There's no question that the RSV4 is a more powerful engine. And that's just the way they're designed, you know. They are race bikes. They are designed to go around a track really fast. And it's a V4. You know, it's a strong engine. A lot of power behind it. But I think when I look at like the weight of the Honda actually weighs the same weight as my ZX6R. You know, right off the bat, it's gonna feel exactly the same. The only difference is the seat height is a little bit higher, and I don't think that'll matter that much. And you know, this one has a lot more features. You got your traction controls, you got your wheelie control, your launch control, like pretty much every control you could have. And both of them can do that, right? Like the Aprilia, the one thing you get that you don't get in the Honda is like cruise control. Yeah, and that's a nice thing. And I even thought about it, I was like, man, that'd be awesome. But at the same time, like, nah, it doesn't really matter. I don't mind twisting the throttle a little bit. I've been watching videos, like just hundreds and hundreds of videos about these bikes, you know, looking at all of them, looking at all the 1000 cc's. I thought, you know, maybe if the 10R was announced, I would consider getting that instead. You know, depending on, for one, I like TFT dashes. You know, a lot of people say they may not be reliable, we don't know yet, but I actually prefer it. And I actually really like the dash from the CBR. I don't know, just the way it's set up is nice. There's not really a fuel gauge on either one of them, so that's going to be annoying. But I mean, they're not really made for that, right? Like, these are made to go fast around a track. And like, the only reason they're considered street bikes is because they're, you know, they got headlights and they got some like EPA restriction stuff on it, Which, let's be real, pretty much anybody's gonna remove all that shit because it's all restricting on power. Yeah, they were supposed to be working on this damn road here. And as far as I can tell, it got more bumpy. I actually hurt my spine. You know, just like bouncing off something. Maybe the suspension was a little bit too stiff. And I hadn't really messed with it yet, but I can definitely tell you, it did not feel good to bounce off some of these. But anyways, back into that CBR versus RSV4. You know, these are both amazing bikes, and I found them for about the same price. The SB1 around 15 grand, and the RSV4, I don't know if it's the RF or the RR, but basically 14, 15. And I guess that's kind of what you expect. They're both 2019, because I don't think Honda came out with the 2020, and I didn't see any decently priced 2020s on the RSV. They're really nice bikes, and I guess the RSV4 would be more of a unique bike. There's not that many here. I think there's only like one Aprilia here in Corpus. Well, that rides, you know, it comes to these group meetings or whatever. But as far as I know, there's a couple of CBRs, but there's not like, I think there's only one CBR 1000 that I've seen. And it was the same like year that I want, except I want a 2019, not a 2017. And I don't know if there's that many differences between the 17 and the 19. But I know like my bank's gonna be looking at like how much does it retail for? What's the market value on it? You know, am I gonna get a good deal? They basically only give you like a 10% leeway. But if I, you know, get into something that's worth like 5 grand more than what I'm buying it for, like it's a really good deal, they're probably gonna go for it. So that's definitely something to think about. Oh, there's that bump. Yeah, that hurt really bad right there. Actually hurt my hand and my spine. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I thought they were fixing the roads, not making them worse. They really haven't done shit. There's actually a cop that kind of like patrols an undercover SUV. It's like all black with black tint, and it has like 2 spotlights, one on each side. Apparently that guy was driving crazy and like trying to block people off, and then like he pulled a gun on a whole bunch of people, like a whole bunch of shit that's all legal, and he was off duty when he did it. And apparently the cops there just let him go. But if it's recorded, I'm pretty sure that could be taken to a lawyer and just turned into a giant nightmare for the police department here. They've had their fist up their ass about the motorbikes here. Don't get me wrong, there is a couple of outliers, right? There's a couple of people that do illegal shit, and I mean like run from cops and crazy shit like that, and they do, and they get away every single fucking time. You know, most of the cop cars here are slow, and it's like, unless you're going against a state trooper, like these guys just go into the next county and they have to give up. Now, I was talking to a friend, and he was saying like, as long as you were like, well, if they can't figure out your license plate within 3 minutes, they have to just call off the chase. It just gets too dangerous. You know, a lot of these dumbasses crash anyways and die. But it is what it is, you know. We want a place, like we want a track here, and you know, I don't know what it's gonna take to get a track in Corpus, but we don't have one yet. Yeah, trying to get a bank to fund one, I'm sure it's a possibility, but to stop this fucking shit, because these cops are like literally they're out to get anybody on a bike. They'll follow you forever and like just fuck with you and wait for you to do like one thing wrong, like, oh, you didn't make a turn like within 100 feet of putting your blinker on. Like, just any fucking stupid thing just to pull you over and fuck with you. And then they're gonna like run your plate and they're gonna do all this other extra stupid shit, even though you haven't been part of anything. And that's pretty much been how it's been. For whatever reason, they just don't like us. And they think like all the bikes here are racing on this road, which is like the worst road in Corpus. So I don't know what the hell they're talking about. Anyways, what do y'all think? The RSV or the CBR 1000RR SP1? I know it's a ridiculous name with like a billion R's and just letters and numbers everywhere. They should just go back to calling it what the Euros call it. Over in Europe they call it the Fireblade, regardless of what 1000cc it is. Apparently here in the manual, like that you get with the bike, it's called a Hurricane. So I don't know, the Honda Hurricane, there you go, or the Honda Fireblade. And I guess there's no consensus on that either. Like you can either call it the 1000RR or SP1, or you could call it the Fireblade SP. I think Fireblade sounds cool. They should just call it that and give us the sticker for it instead of the 1000RR. Maybe it's just like American market wants to know how much CC they have because they can't do the research themselves. You know, there has to be some marketing reason why they do that. Or maybe there's like some rule here that you have to announce what your CC is. I'm just gonna say my bike's a 600cc. I think it'll be a 999. It's a pretty beefy engine. And you know me, gonna get the exhaust, the tune, the air filter, air filter, and you know, every little bolt on I can do for it. Might as well. I was really looking at the all black one too. That one's sick. I don't know what y'all think about the color scheme for the SP1, but like the all black one looks fucking awesome. The only difference is you lose the electronic suspension, which I want. So I'm stuck with the tricolor. Y'all should check it out, it's pretty cool. And here we are pulling up to the towers. Another beautiful ride done. It's actually a little bit longer than normal for the video, but here we go. Actually didn't get ran over for once. Anyways guys, if you stuck around this long, well, you're awesome, and I'll see you in the next one. Or rather, oh, look at this guy, he has a 636. His was a flaming pile of garbage though. It's a 2019 KRT and it's been nothing but problems for him. It's like the third or fourth time he had to bring it to the dealership. Here we are. Alright guys, real quick, like just got done with the quick ride to the towers. I wasn't going to go to bike night, but ended up no one showed up, so there's only me and another dude there hanging out. And matter of fact, he's the other guy that has the same model ZX6R that I had. He just had the ABS KRT model. Anyways, so it was a nice ride, and you know, I feel like I can actually ride again, so I guess I'll start making some more videos for y'all. See y'all in the next one.